Imagine a single whisper, barely audible, slipping into someone's ear. It's not a fact, not an accusation, just a hint, a suggestion. Yet somehow that whisper grows, festers, and unravels their entire life. How does something so subtle hold such power? How can a mere insinuation drive someone to paranoia, self-destruction, or even madness? This isn't just a thought experiment. It's a phenomenon that shaped history, toppled reputations, and fueled betrayals. From whispered rumors in royal courts to vague posts sparking online outrage, the art of planting doubt has always been a silent weapon. It's not about shouting lies. It's about dropping hints that let the mind do the rest. Today, we'll peel back the layers of this dark art. How does it work? Why is it so effective? And what happens when those whispers take root? Let's dive in. So, what exactly are these pernicious whispers? At their core, they're subtle insinuations, carefully crafted hints that suggest something without stating it outright. Think of a colleague saying, "I heard Sarah's been spending a lot of time with the boss lately." No accusation is made, but the implication lingers. Did Sarah do something wrong? Is she getting special treatment? The listener's mind fills in the blanks. This is the essence of insinuation. It's a seed of doubt planted in someone's thoughts, designed to grow on its own. It's like dropping a single drop of ink into a glass of water. At first, it's just a speck, but soon it spreads, clouding everything. The power lies in what's left unsaid. By avoiding direct claims, the whisperer sidesteps accountability while letting the listener's imagination run wild. Psychologically, this works because of how our brains are wired. One key principle is confirmation bias. People are more likely to believe hints that align with their existing suspicions or insecurities. If you already distrust Sarah, that comment about her and the boss feels like proof. Another principle is the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you start acting on the insinuation, say treating Sarah coldly, she might withdraw, which seems to confirm the hint. The whisper becomes reality, not because it was true, but because it was believed. Insinuation thrives on ambiguity. Unlike a bold lie, which can be disproven, a vague hint is hard to pin down. If challenged, the whisperer can shrug and say, "I didn't mean anything by it," yet the damage is done. The listener's mind is already spinning, questioning, doubting. This is why pernicious whispers are so insidious. They manipulate without leaving fingerprints. But it's not just individuals who fall prey. Societies can be swayed too. A single rumor, carefully placed, can spark division or panic. In the past, a whispered scandal could ruin a noble's reputation. Today, a cryptic social media post can ignite a firestorm. The mechanics are the same. Plant the seed, step back, and let human nature do the rest. To understand the reach of pernicious whispers, let's look at how they've shaped history and how they operate today. These examples show just how potent a well-placed hint can be. First, let's travel back to ancient Rome, where insinuation was a political weapon. Take the case of Cicero, the famed orator, and his rival Clodius. In 62 BCE, Clodius was accused of sneaking into a sacred women-only ritual, disguised as a woman. The scandal could have ended his career, but it was the whispers that did the real damage. Cicero, in his speeches, never directly accused Clodius of treason or immorality. Instead, he dropped hints, questioning Clodius's character and loyalty. "What kind of man disguises himself to invade sacred spaces?" he asked. The insinuation stuck. Romans began to see Clodius as untrustworthy, not because of hard evidence, but because Cicero's words, planted doubts that grew in the public's mind. Clodius's reputation never fully recovered. Now let's leap to literature, where insinuation often drives tragedy. In Shakespeare's Othello, the villain Iago is a master of pernicious whispers. He never directly accuses Desdemona of infidelity. Instead, he plants seeds of doubt in Othello's mind. "She did deceive her father, marrying you," Iago muses, implying Desdemona might deceive Othello too. He suggests Cassio's behavior is suspicious, then feigns innocence. "I speak not yet of proof." Othello's jealousy spirals, not because Iago lied, but because his hints preyed on Othello's insecurities. By the end, Othello's trust is shattered, leading to murder and his own downfall. Iago's whispers didn't just poison one mind, they destroyed an entire world. Fast forward to the modern era, and insinuation has found a new playground: the internet. Consider the phenomenon of cancel culture. A single vague tweet, like, "I heard something about celebrity that's concerning," can spark a frenzy. No evidence is provided, but the hint is enough. People speculate, dig for dirt, and amplify the rumor. Soon, the celebrity's reputation is in tatters, not because of a proven crime, but because the insinuation snowballed. In 2020, a prominent author faced a wave of backlash after a cryptic post suggested they'd made offensive remarks. No recording or transcript ever surfaced, but the damage was done. Fans turned on them, sponsors dropped them, and their career took years to recover. The whisper didn't need proof, it just needed traction. Another modern example is corporate sabotage. In high-stakes industries, insinuations can undermine rivals without leaving a trace. Picture a CEO vying for a promotion. A competitor might casually mention to the board, "I wonder why they've been so secretive about their last project." No accusation, just a hint. Suddenly, the board questions the CEO's transparency. Doubt creeps in, and their candidacy falters. The whisperer walks away clean, while the victim struggles to regain trust. These cases, ancient, fictional, and modern, reveal a pattern. Pernicious whispers work because they exploit human vulnerabilities, our need for certainty, our fear of betrayal, our tendency to assume the worst. They don't force belief, they invite it, letting the listener or the crowd do the heavy lifting. So why are pernicious whispers so effective? And what do they do to us? Let's break it down. On an individual level, insinuations can wreak havoc. They breed anxiety and paranoia. When someone hints that a friend might be disloyal, the mind spirals. What did they mean? What don't I know? Trust erodes, not because of facts, but because of doubt. This can lead to self-destructive behavior, lashing out, isolating oneself, or making rash decisions. In extreme cases, like Othello's, it can push someone toward madness or ruin. Psychologically, this happens because insinuations hijack our emotional reasoning. They trigger fear or insecurity, which override logic, making us act on feelings rather than evidence. Socially, the impact is even broader. Pernicious whispers can fracture communities or fuel mob mentality. A single rumor about a group, say, a vague claim of shady dealings, can spark distrust or hostility. In polarized times, these hints spread like wildfire, especially online, where algorithms amplify outrage. Reputations crumble, alliances break, and divisions deepen, all from a seed of insinuation. The 1692 Salem witch trials are a stark example. Whispers of witchcraft, often baseless, turned neighbors against each other, leading to executions and mass hysteria. The accusers didn't need proof, they just needed to point and hint. Why does this work so well? It's not just psychology, it's sociology. Humans are social creatures, wired to care about status and belonging. Insinuations exploit this by threatening our sense of security or reputation. They also leverage the bandwagon effect. Once a few people buy into a rumor, others follow, afraid of being left out or seeming naive. The whisper gains legitimacy through repetition, not truth. But there's a flip side. Recognizing these mechanics can blunt their power. Critical thinking, questioning vague claims, demanding evidence, acts like a shield. Emotional awareness too helps. When a hint stirs fear or anger, pausing to ask, "Why am I feeling this?" can break the spell. These aren't foolproof, but they're tools to navigate a world full of whispers. Pernicious whispers are a dark art, not because they're inherently evil, but because they're so effective. A single hint, carefully placed, can unravel a mind, a reputation, or even a society. From ancient Rome to modern social media, the mechanics remain the same. Plant doubt, step back, and let human nature take over. It's a tactic that thrives on our biases, our fears, and our need to make sense of the world. Understanding this phenomenon doesn't mean mastering it or fearing it. It means seeing it for what it is. The next time a vague rumor or cryptic comment catches your attention, pause, ask, what's being implied? Who benefits from the doubt? That moment of clarity can be the difference between falling for a whisper and seeing through it. This isn't about paranoia or cynicism, it's about awareness. In a world where words are weapons, knowing how they work is the first step to navigating them. So, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and your trust earned. The whispers are out there, but they only have power if we let them take root.